there.
Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel, Massive Iron Live. It is Friday, November 4th, and I'm sitting here beardless because of Faz Lifts. Thanks, Faz Lifts, doing the Movember thing. If you guys want to support him and his effort and his cause, you can, come here, buddy boy. My dog's trying to get up. You can check out his YouTube page. Hey, what's going on? You can check out his YouTube channel at Faz Lifts. He's got some things going on. This is Buddy Boy. Buddy Boy wanted to get in early today. Appreciate you guys joining me. If you're new here, don't be shy. Please post up a question. I am here to help. Don't be shy. Post up as many questions as you want. That's why I do these. You guys are not bothering me, so let it rip. Let it rip. And what are you guys doing this weekend? Lifting today. I had back yesterday. No, I'd rest day yesterday. I had back on Wednesday. And I took a break from deadlifting this week. On Sunday, I woke up and my lower back was just off, just old man injury. So I took a break from that and just did a lot of back volume other than deadlifts. I did end up with some shrugs. Today, I'm probably going to train shoulders. My wife has a membership to the YMCA so she can take fitness classes. So I'm probably going to go over there actually and work shoulders on their machines just for something different. So if you guys are new here, a couple housekeeping things. Your questions don't always go through, okay? And that's not me throttling you. That's not me ignoring you. That's not me censoring you. That's just simply the way YouTube works. So if your question's not going through sometimes, just try to reword it or try to shorten it. Or worst comes to worst, you can head over to Instagram, app and the barman. Slide into my DM, ask a question. I'm here to help. I answer every question on DM on Instagram, not always immediately, but I will get to it generally within several days. So we got a little bit of peach fuzz growing back, but man, I can't wait for some of it to come back a little bit more quickly. It seems like when you already have a beard, it grows so super rapidly, right? And then when you don't, this is only like the second time in 10 years that I've shaved it off. And it seems like it just takes forever to grow back. Before I get started, guys, one more thing. If you're interested in coaching, check out the link check out my website, superlivingtoday.com. I'm with you every single day. I don't just check in once a week. I give all my time and energy to my clients. It's what I do most of the day, in between trying to squeeze in YouTube content and to squeeze in the occasional random Instagram post. So if you need coaching, check it out. It's very reasonable, and I'm with you every single day. If you want anything other, to support Massive Iron, I have whey protein, which tastes great. And I have creatine over at my website. I'm not trying to be a supplement company. I provide this as I do this basically for myself. Yeah, I make like $5 from a jug, not a lot. So if you want to buy me a sandwich, you can check that stuff out. And I do things like custom workouts, and I have tons of workouts. So if you're looking for a workout, check out the workout tab. So let's dive into it. Enough of the rambling. Let's get into things. Now, a reminder, if you post a question before live starts, you get a chance. Post a question before live starts for a chance to win a free shirt or hoodie. So each week I give away a free shirt or hoodie to anyone that posts a question before live starts. And Eric, the Beard of Redness, is in first today. Nice work. Yes, you did indeed beat Stein. Paul X, client of mine, going to be a good day. Good morning. Thanks, Paul. I hope you're having a good day and have a good weekend. It looks like it's going to be a good weekend here. Looking out my window, there's not a cloud in the sky. And Alexa, what's the weather today? I think we're going to get up to 70.
Currently, in Lebanon, it's 61 degrees Fahrenheit
61.
with clear skies
Alexa,
and sun.
Stop.
Today, you can expect
Alexa.
partly sunny weather with a high of
Alexa.
76 degrees and a low of 58 degrees.
AI. All right, so we're going to be about 70 today. Big Bob Fish. Going to have to take the dog for a walk now instead of later, so I'm around to watch live. My dog, we went out for a nice walk last night, just enjoying the good weather. 01 Omega. Good morning. I'm a beginner and I'm confused about volume. Why do we need to add volume? You don't need to add it. I made a post over on Instagram. Check it out, guys. I've been the barman. And you don't need to add volume. The word need is what we need to focus on here. You don't need to add volume. I made a post on Instagram, and I believe I pinned it. If not, let me see if I can pull it up here on the live. Hold on one second, guys. And I'll go over that with you guys real quick. And it's super simple, and it is about volume. And I think I got it. Let me see if I can share it. Present, share screen. Let me get the right screen. And boom. All right. So this is the post on volume. And basically, this has to do, check this out if you want more information on building your own programming. I would also, if you're going to build your own programming, I would take something like this and analyze somebody else's program to kind of see where their weekly sets fall in. So if God forbid you buy a program from another coach, or you build your own program instead of using one of the massive iron programs, you can kind of check that program for balance, or this can help you build a program. So this is general advice. And these are not rules. This is a starting point. If you're training 4 days a week, you want to start with about 72 hard sets of volume. That's going to include 12 hard sets for chest, 12 for delts, 12 for back, 12 for quads, about 9 for tricepticons, about 6 for bicepticons, 6 for hammies, traps about 3 per week, and abs and calves as needed. So there's more information over here. Check it out. I go into detail and explain this a little bit more. So check that out. And these are only starting points. You can adjust if you need to. So 01 Omega asked, why do we need to add it? Well, the only time you need to adjust volume is on a needs basis. Let's say you're doing pull-ups, and you start with 3 sets of pull-ups, and you find, I suck, or whatever the case is. I suck at pull-ups. So I'm only going to do 2 while I work on pull-ups, and maybe I'll add another set elsewhere. So we're kind of adjusting volume based on programming needs. We're not doing anything radical. We're just kind of evolving our program based on what is going on in the gym, if that makes sense. You don't need to add volume. I've never really gone beyond, plus minus 10% of the 72 hard sets rule. There are times when I train 5 days a week where you might do more volume weekly. That's okay. It's getting a little sleepy here. What? You gonna take a nap? You gonna take a nap? Look. All right, I'm gonna set you down because I can't hold you for 2 straight hours, big buddy boy. All right, what do we got yet? Next. Sorry, happy Friday, Stein. Glad you're here. Timothy Lim. Hey, Steve, I recently submitted my own form video for the video you requested on deadlifts. If they suck, hope you can help. Thanks, I appreciate that. I got probably 15 submissions on WhatsApp. So I appreciate everybody that submitted. I'm going to try to make a video this week, probably Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday at the latest, where I actually comb through these videos, or most of them. I can't comb through them all, so I hope you guys understand. So just stay patient. I can't possibly do them all, but I'm going to pick some of them. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not looking at names. I'm not trying to discriminate. So if you submitted a video, I just put it on my Dropbox, just the video. I don't have names. I'm not going to reference anyone on social media. I'm not going to reference your name. I'm just going to pick the videos that I think would make the best or work the best for doing tutorials. So hang tough. And if I don't submit your video, if this goes over well, I'll be doing this more frequently. And I think this will be a really good way to teach you guys about squatting or deadlifting. And then eventually maybe I'll do this for squatting as well, or RDLs, without just presenting tips, on paper or by speaking. All right, Tim, I have one question. What do you think of completely resetting between deadlift reps? That's what I do. I completely briefly reset my hips between deadlift reps. And let me see if I can show you. I did a deadlift challenge with Chris Gethin. So I did deadlift challenge. This was years back. We did bodybuilders versus powerlifters. I got tossed in the powerlifting pool, of course, and I found the video. Let me mute the ads, and I'll share that with you guys just in a second. I want to show you guys how the resetting goes on a deadlift. So let's see. Let me just pull my ugly self here. Okay. I got my ugly self, and I'm going to try to share the video. Present, screen share. My dog's still trying to get up. Okie dokie. So watch. Whoops. I set it down. I reset my hips, set it down, reset my hips. I'm pulling the slack out of the bar. I try to reset my hips. You can see I've been deadlifting forever. It's like a course in precision if you look, but I reset my hips and then I drive and stand up. So to Timothy's question, yeah, you can reset. You don't have to be as quick as I was. I was doing a deadlift challenge, so we were trying to get to 100 reps as quickly as possible. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be as quick as I do. You can take a little bit more time. I wouldn't really let go of the bar. If you want to let go of the bar, try what I call my 10-minute deadlift protocol. And how that works is over the course, you're going to do a 10-minute deadlift block, and you're only going to do single or double reps based on how you feel when you grab the bar and you're under the bar. So my dog's sitting right down here, just looking at me like, what? Come here, you little sad guy. All right, you can come back up. So the 10-minute deadlift protocol, you're going to do singles or doubles. You basically do a single or double, let go of the bar, stand up, shake out all the, cobwebs, catch your breath for a second or two. When you feel ready to go again, you're going to grab the bar and let it rip. So on this protocol, a lot of my clients are doing this protocol. The goal is to get 14 or more reps in 10 minutes. If you do so, then we add 5 pounds the next time. So if anybody has any questions on this, just let me know. And he's down there all snuggled in and resting. All right, what do we got next? Victor. Good day for all. Thanks, Victor. Stephen, the massive mass system. Let's say I want to add volume in a specific exercise and go for 3 sets. How would the progression work after maximizing the last set? So anybody curious about massive mass, you can check it out over at superlivingtoday.com in the workouts tab. Basically, you try to maximize the last set. So whatever exercise you're doing, you have kind of a target. When you hit that target on the last set, then the next time you try to hit that target on the last 2 sets. Now, let's say you're doing 10, 10, and max reps, okay? And you hit 10, 10, and 12. And the next time into the gym, you're going to try to maximize the last 2 sets. So let's say you do 10, 12, and then only 11. Your performance dips on the last set. Then you would continue week in and week out trying to get to 10, 12, 12. And when you do so, you would progress in that manner. I hope that makes sense. Also, last stream I had a question about Smith rows. Do you think they are close enough? Smith rows aren't bad. I mean, there are some Smith exercises that I don't really care for personally. I think if you get set up correctly, a Smith row is going to be fine. Just try to pull to a natural position. For the love of all things holy, don't try not to pull that towards your upper chest. Pull naturally towards your stomach or torso. Thoughts on underhand grip rows? Those are called Yates rows officially. So anybody that's curious what an underhand grip row is, it's called a Yates row after Dorian Yates. Should I worry about bicep tears? You know, Dorian tore his biceps on this, but Dorian was using a monster heavyweight, and I've never heard of anybody else tearing their biceps on a Yates row. The key with all back exercises, number one, is to focus on driving your elbow back instead of pulling to move the weight. And number two, and this is something that you have to worry about more on higher rep rows like dumbbell rows, barbell rows, or Yates rows, is if you feel any bicep fatigue whatsoever, you need to stop the set. If the bicep feels off or angry, when I do high rep dumbbell rows, or what I call bulldozer rows, 20, 30, even upwards of 40 reps per set, sometimes I can tell the biceps getting a little bit overworked. Even if you focus on driving your elbow back to move the weight on a row, the bicep is still a minor muscle group, and it could pick up fatigue during the set, even if your form is correct. So pay really good attention to that. Timothy, what do you think of the assisted pull-up machine? You know, I've tried it. I really don't like it. I really don't get a great feel personally. You know, like a lat pull down, I get a really good feel on my back. If you get a good feel on the assisted pull-up machine, then use it. If not, you're better off using pull-ups with bands, band assisted. Put one foot in the band, not both. That way, if anything bad happens, you got one foot to land on the ground. In a food chain scenario, like what's higher on the food chain, I would probably, if you suck at pull-ups, I would do neutral grip pull-ups first, not a pure chin up with the palm facing you, not a pull-up with the palm away, but a neutral grip. I would try those first because you'll be able to, those are a little bit more leverage friendly. Beyond those, I would probably do next step down the rung, a band assisted pull-up. And some of my body weight friends, guys that do body weight for as a specialty, have said those are a better choice for training the pull-up than the assisted pull-up. So assisted pull-up machines are going to have, I don't know, unusual leverage profiles. So they're fine to use if they feel good to you. Now, if you're going to do, I got to set you down because I got to show something. If you're going to do control the eccentric, control it at the elbow. Don't hold yourself down with your hands and lower yourself down with your hands. Put the pressure on your elbow. So if you're at extension and you're lowering, push up like this. Push up here. Control the lowering by pushing up or controlling the elbow. Does that make sense? The same on a seated cable row. If you're going to control the eccentric, control it at the elbow, right? So then you can continue to place tension on your back. Same with lat pull downs. If you're going to control the eccentric, control it at the elbow, and your grip should be like almost be able to have a loose grip. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Timothy, I also watched your first hour raw edit of 96 hours. Can't wait. Thank you for watching that. I appreciate that. If you guys want to watch it, you can head over to Instagram. There's a link in the bio. And I have the first hour. It's a raw edit, but I think it's looking pretty good. I'm editing it myself. I'm learning to edit on the fly. But you know what? I'm really, really happy. And it's going to be a little bit longer than the typical documentary because, look, we got 8 million hours of footage. It's probably going to be 2 hours or 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I don't really care. I'm not trying to sell a documentary to, Time Warner or Paramount or anything. I'm just doing this as to show you guys what I went through and give you guys a peek at what it was like in our life to try to train to run for 96 hours. So if you guys want to watch this, I'm going to show you guys how to get to it. First off, go over to Instagram at Ben the Barman and let me do the old screen share Rooski. All right. Preview, share screen, application, and share. And I'm going to pull off the comment. This is about my documentary, 96 Hours. I'm not trying to, be a filmmaker, but here is the post. And there's a link here. I have to secure, I'm working on securing rights to a couple of the songs. So don't panic, about it being unlisted. But if you go to my profile, there's in my profile, there's a link tree. And there's a link to the 96 Hours documentary. And I'm actually going to play the first few seconds. Well, I can't because if I do, maybe I'll play a little running footage. That's my wife. All right, I'll play a little running footage for me. I can't play the opening segment because it has a song that would anger YouTube. But here's just a scene. It's probably this is the first running scene of the video. Oops, back to my wife here. I think we're back to me in a minute. And this is all trail running that we're doing, that we did. So it should cut to me in a second. Hold on. Blood sugar's a little low. Didn't sleep that good. A couple miles in. And losing water quick. It's cool. But it's definitely humid. I'm a slow turtle. There's a lot of uphill grinding. Hold on a sec. Grind yet. Trying to reach get to the mile 5. See if we turn around. You get to the you're not almost there tagline, so hold on. There. Showing sitting down, eating hamburgers and bratwurst, drinking beer. Stopped at the aid station for some pickles and take a wee. And we're back at it. We're doing some road running right now. And it's a little bit of an uphill grind. I'm beat. Really lack of sleep last night in the Airbnb. I'm going to stop complaining. I just keep telling myself, well, I don't tell myself it's almost over. What I really tell myself is it's not almost over. It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. Because you know what? That's what endurance racing is. You're not almost there. All right. The next one, I start off with, oh, fuck. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys watching that. That was actually the first running scene from the documentary. It's got a lot about our personal life. And Timothy said, you and your wife are inspirational. Thank you kindly. I appreciate that. I'm a dad. What's your superpower? Morning massive mammals. Great comment. Love it. Thanks for joining in. Do you find farmers walks good for any form of muscle building? Not muscle building specifically. They can be a good accessory movement. I hate to use accessory, but if you're, at the end of a posterior workout or a back workout, when you want to get a little bit more time under tension on the traps, yeah, I would use straps or VersaGrips 100% because the point here is to work your yoke, unless you're using it specifically for grip work. But we want to, traps are hard to grow. So any time under tension you can add to the mix on your traps is a good thing. So specifically for traps, I don't really care about grip or forearm strength. I mean, overworking your grip tends to lead to elbow tendonitis. And, your forearms will grow when everything else is growing. So don't overwork. You want to do a little forearm work, that's fine. But I would use them specifically for extra stress on your traps, that extra time under stress. I hate to call it time under tension, but time under duress. How's that? Richard Murray from Scotland. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Richard. Hope you're feeling good and everything goes well this weekend. 3 days grace. Why do I get cramps in my hammies and calves when I don't drink milk? No idea, but it could be related to the electrolytes. Calcium is an electrolyte, and I can't say I know your complete situation, but you could be slightly calcium deficient, which could could be contributing to that. Check out one of the articles on the internet, top calcium foods. Make sure you get in at least one or two of them a week. When I look at my micronutrients, I focus on plant-based additions to my animal-based diet that focus on like potassium and calcium intake. So I make sure I back sodium's easy to get in, right? It's pretty easy to get in the modern era. But when I look for plant-based foods to kind of complement my animal-based, my meat, my protein sources, I look for things that have potassium and things that have calcium. So you don't have to overdo it, right? You don't have to overdo it, but maybe look to make sure you're getting in a little bit of those each week. Nicholas, how are you enjoying the World Series? Good, man. It's a little bit low scoring. The last few games have been, I don't know, really, really dominant from a pitching standpoint for Houston. After the 5 home run game from Philly, I thought we got a series. This is going to be, but Houston came back. They've just shut the door, and I don't see it looking good for Philadelphia. Depending on who's pitching for Houston, next time Houston's got some lockdown pitchers, and I wouldn't be surprised if it would be over next game. Nicholas, thoughts on the new BS video a guy put out? Oh, partial range. Yeah, I saw the partial range of motion. I know who you're talking about. I believe this is Jeremy Ethier or whatever. The same guy that's put out 20 videos on how to spot reduce belly fat. If you're talking about the same video, and I don't want to get into a bash session, but look, some of these guys are masters at pulling levers just for YouTube cash. We're not doing partial range of motion for hypertrophy. I'm not saying some of those exercises can't work, but this is just more bullshit in the industry. Follow the new thing. I mean, it has, stick with convention, guys. Stick with convention. Partial range. Do I do partial range of motion? On low rack pulls, so I don't beat up my back on deadlifts when you don't have a hex bar. And beyond that, don't waste your time with this crap. Do not waste your time chasing this crap. Stick with convention. Our neck exercise is not needed. No, they're not needed. My neck, but you're gonna have to get down. Sorry, he wants to come up. I'm getting a new suit. We're doing my wife is taking me to a Victorian era ball, right? Just what we want to do as guys, right? Go to a Victorian era ball. But she's getting me a classic tux with tails. And my wife is a seamstress, so she's altering it. And she had to take my neck size. And my neck is 19. And I've never trained neck. And all the big guys I know, muscle-wise that have put in a good quality amount of work and built a good natural amount of muscle mass. Their necks are fine. You don't need to add extra neck work. I'm not a big fan of it at all. If you screw up your neck, you're going to start to get headaches. I'm not a fan of it. If you want to do a little bit for martial arts training, that's fine. Do your thing, but don't go crazy. Harut, worst injury accident you've seen in person? Wow. This is a good question. Probably mine. Really. I've only had one major injury in the gym in 38 years, and that was a hamstring tear. And the video is hilarious. I'm in the Tiger Fitness gym, and all of a sudden, boom, just you can hear me scream and get away from there. Oh, sorry, my dog. You can hear me scream, and I'm on the floor just moaning and yelling in pain, and people are walking through the gym, just like not even looking at me, like I ain't touching that. I'm laying on the floor just in pain, and people are walking by like just ignoring it. Thanks, +1 humanity, but that's the worst one. Um, Powerlifting meets are full. I wouldn't say brutal injuries, but a lot of injuries. There was a video, and I'm not going to name names. Basically, saying that 1 rep max attempts aren't more dangerous than training with 10 rep max or 10 rep sets. It's bull crap. It's complete bull crap. It's nonsense. Anybody that thinks that or says that has never been to enough powerlifting meets to, they shouldn't be talking about strength coaching, if they believe that to be true. So I'm just calling it like it is, folks. Any strength coach that tells you a 1 rep max, strength coach that tells you a 1 rep max attempt isn't inherently more dangerous than a 5 or 10 or 12 rep max or 12 reps set is a babbling idiot. And you can quote me and you can stuff it in their pipe because that's the reality. This person has never been to enough powerlifting meets. The high incidence level of strains and issues and even major injuries at powerlifting meets is much higher than just general gym training. Nicholas, can you push past failure? Yeah, you can push past failure. You can do so using step downs in progressions. You can use so in using step downs in range of motion. And you can do so using supersets, drop sets, rest pause. So let's use the lat pull down as an example. You get to the point on a lat pull down where your speed slows. Oh, that was a crap. I can only go down here, right? You hit that point, speed slows, you hit form failure, technical failure. Now, what could you do at that point to increase the intensity if you wanted to? And this is something I would only recommend like on the last set of an exercise. You could remember on a lat pull down, we're going to be driving our elbow down to move the weight so you can feel your lat work. So let's say you hit that point where speed slows and you can't get it down anymore. You could do some partials and then hold it up. Partials, pull down as far as you can from a quality standpoint, hold it up. You could rest 5 seconds and do more reps. You could run the stack. You could, if you're on a lat pull down that has a weight stack, you could drop to the next pin and try to squeeze out a couple more reps. There's progressions. Let me explain. Like, let's say you're doing a diamond push-up, okay? And you hit failure. You could then maybe go to a regular wide grip push-up. Or let's say you're doing a pause push-up and you hit failure. You could just do maybe half push-ups. So there's different things you could do. It's not really going to increase injury. And you still want to maintain good form. Like on the lat pull example, when you hit that kind of form failure and you can't get the bar any lower, you're not going to start doing like rocking back and, looking like an idiot. You still want to maintain good form, but like on barbell rows, when you hit form failure, you could still do a couple, 2-3 extra reps, but don't move your torso a lot to move the weight. Continue to drive your elbows back to move the weight. Hey, are you chewing on the couch, you son of a gun? Chew on one of your bones, dickhead. He's chewing on the couch. Don't you do that. Don't you make me come over there and set you straight. I see you. It's okay. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy boy. Come here. I'll forgive you, but you can't chew on the couch, you little silly. He's never done that before. It's okay. I still love you. All right, Rico. How's it going, Rico? LV King, on days that you don't feel strong and can't hit your usual numbers, is it better to grind through? The only time I really stop a workout is when something feels off from a muscular standpoint or from a general fatigue standpoint or sleepiness standpoint. I just feel absolutely spent. Like that's the only time I stop. We don't chase numbers, right? Chase, you go into the gym, you're going to have bad workouts. I'm not telling you not to chase numbers, right? But don't live and die by numbers. They're going to come over time. What we want to do is live and die by effort, and through effort, numbers come. So, regardless of where you are at physically, put in the best effort you can. Live and die by effort, not by numbers. If you live and die by effort, numbers come. Does that make sense? All right, Big Kevin Kraus, how do you feel about using wrist reps? 100%. I'm a big fan of wrist reps. There's no downsides. All the people are like, if you take them off, it's going to weaken. Oh, come on. Yeah, it might weaken things a little bit by using them, but let's not be paranoid. Wrist wraps, once you get to a certain point on your pressing, you have instability and it can put stress on your wrist. I use wrist wraps on all my pressing. I never take them off. They're really super easy to cinch in. They don't take a lot of time. Knee wraps take a lot of time, and they're definitely beneficial. So I'm 100% for them. Aberrant, do you have a worst student story you'd like to share? Oh, like a client story? I generally don't share client information, but I do have a funny story of one person I worked with. And look, I'm off energy drinks. I did a November challenge. You can check it out on Instagram, trying to give up a bad habit. No protein bars, no energy drinks this month, just the black coffee, right? Just the black coffee. So I'll share a story with you, a coaching story. I get a client. Where he's from is arbitrary, but he was somewhere in Europe. And I give him a workout. Now, everybody I coach gets a custom workout, but like after you've made a 500 push-pull legs, there's only so many ways you can change a push-pull legs. I have my philosophies on how to program, and I have my ways of programming exercise priorities, and I have my ways of programming progression. So I have my tools, just like Westside has their philosophies, Massive Iron has their philosophies. But still, every workout is custom based on your injury history, how often you like to work out, your exercise preferences. So we get a body of exercises that you want to do. Anybody that's talked to me on the phone, they know I ask about deadlifts, about squats, about bench, about shoulders. Well, not always shoulders. I ask about the big three lifts. I ask about pull-ups and deadlifts. I also ask them if there's any other lifts they don't like to do or can't do. So we comb through lifts, and everything as a client or when I'm doing a custom workout for you is completely customized. Like customized doesn't mean I'm going to put together something completely different from the other person that just had a push-pull legs, right? Because that would be silly. That would be ridiculous. Like, okay, instead of barbell bench, just to be completely customized, I'm going to give you vested weighted push-ups instead. That's silly. We're going for efficient. So with that established, I have my structures and parameters, and I build things from scratch. Different progression styles for this guy, maybe concurrent periodization for this guy, maybe threes for this guy. So this is my worst client story. So I have a new client and I give him a workout. All right. And we're like a week in and he doesn't like the workout. No problem. That's part of coaching. I want you guys happy. I want you guys enjoying your workout. There's a dozen ways to train, right? A dozen workout structures, quality. So whatever. So he asks, can you do this? Okay. So I don't remember, but maybe we're taking it from a push-pull legs into an upper lower. I already have in his push-pull legs his progression approaches. And this is a long story, but hang around for the end. Well, we already have his progression approaches and his preferred exercises. So all we do is take those and we move those over into an upper lower. So we're not putting in different exercises. We're putting in the same exercises we established that he wanted and the same progression approaches, blah, blah, blah. 2 days later, he wants another workout. Okay. Maybe reduce volume, whatever. So I make him his third workout in like 10 days. And then 2 days later, he wants another variation, 4 workouts in 2 weeks. Okay. And the bottom line is, I think he was trying to find a way. I think he was trying to find a way to train easy, right? And like I don't kill you with my programs. I put together reasonable programs. But I think he was one of these modern generation, give me what I want. This is too hard. So after 4 workouts, I say to the guy, I say, look, you got to pick one of these and run with it for 3 months. We can evolve things from there. If you don't like Pendley rows, we can put in T-bar rows or Yates rows or whatever. And but I said, I'm not making any more workouts. I said, you have basically a variation of the same workout, a customized workout for 4 different plans. And I said to him, I've already spent 2 hours building a workout and a half an hour on the client call. I said, I've invested 2.5 hours on this already in the first 10 days. We just kind of have to pick something and run with it. Dude got so pissed at me. He said, none of your workouts are custom. You're just moving things around. Like, no shit, dude. I am moving your preferences around. Do you expect like pinky cup, teacup, nipple twist, nipple twirl laterals or something every time you want? Are you trying to have me find an easier way to program? But anyway, the dude got super pissed, and I'm like, this just isn't working out. No harm, no foul. This just isn't work. He called me out in coaching saying I wasn't, making custom workouts. Like, okay, buddy. And then he got super pissed, and dude starts spamming my emails and trying to leave negative reviews and spamming my comments on YouTube and making fake comments and spamming on Instagram and making fake comments about how I'm a sham and a scam, I'm a scam artist. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. So that had to be the worst. Some people, I've only had that happen once in, training, but dude was like cracked and all the good stuff was leaking out, right? So yeah, that's my only bad story, and I won't I don't really have a lot of stories beyond that. So let me mute the notifications on Team Massive. They're posting over there instead of watching live, so I'm going to put them in the shame corner. Chris, maybe they can't watch. I'm just being kidding. I'm just kidding. Chris, I feel like my work capacity on squats is crap. That's fine, Chris. I've been squatting for 38 years, and I feel like that every day. They're a hard lift to get accustomed to, and I'm telling you, they're probably going to feel like hell the rest of your life. It's just a lift. You just have to take like medicine. I don't really feel they ever get easier. I feel as the weight gets heavier, they get harder, because the having a weight on your back is going to start sending your heart rate up just from trying to survive that. So don't start doing 20 reps with lighter weight. It's not going to increase your work capacity. It's not going to. You just have to suck it up, Chris. You just got to suck it up and push. I don't like deload, reload, unload. At some point, you got to stand in front of the mountain and run up the mountain, attack the mountain. Yes, your work capacity sucks, but all you're going to try to do is increase your cardiovascular ability to handle 20 rep squats. You're not going to increase your ability to handle 5 or 6 and push to 6 or 7. So just giving you an honest opinion, that's the wrong approach. I started resistance training 2 months ago. Previous 2 weeks, I had to stop training because of a little injury. Well, I'm going to say this right now. You never have to completely stop because of a little injury. A little injury, a big injury, like a major lower backer. There's always something you can do. So I don't like. I'm just being honest with you. You can't do that. You can't have a little injuries are part of the process. You work around them. You do what you can do. You don't just like, I tweak my wrist, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. I don't know your situation. So when I respond to questions like this, I'm responding to the public, everybody watching, so they can kind of understand the bigger picture. But little injuries are part of training. You should not take 2 weeks off of training because of a little injury. You continue to do what you can do and avoid lifts that'll aggravate the little injury. But after the injury recovery period, I thought I've gotten a little weak. Of course, yeah, absolutely. So you want to maintain strength. You don't want to be constantly in the state of 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, because that's the death of progress. I saw myself in the mirror. It was like a month worth of gains. You're not going to gain that much in a month. Maybe you feel softer with less glycogen. Don't worry about it. Anytime away from the gym, muscle memory is a real thing. You'll get it back. Just get back and attack. Rico, what's a reasonable amount of running a week? I would say a reasonable, like if you really want to ramp up your cardio and really get intense, probably 5 hours. And a lot of it's going to come down. I was running 12 hours a week plus, some weeks 13 or 14 hours, and I didn't have any recovery issues. I always structured things so I wasn't running before legs. But I didn't have any recovery issues. There might be some initially, but it's not going to hinder size or strength. Just keep your calories right and be smart about how you structure things, and you'll be fine. Nicholas, lots of new content by new creators must drive you nuts. Do you prefer the 80s and 90s fitness lifestyle? Yeah, it was, the new content, I wouldn't say it drives me nuts. I just think so much of it is just trash. Oh, look, it says political call on my phone. Let's answer it. Hello?
Hello, my name is Alan. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. My name is Alan, and I'm calling on behalf of Americans for Prosperity Action. Here in
Okay.
Wisconsin, we support Ron Johnson.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm doing a live on YouTube. I have a really large YouTube channel, and you're actually live on YouTube. I just hung up on him. I don't know. He was probably shitting his pants and everything. Yeah, I prefer the more simple things. The content is look, back in the day, we called a poser, and we weren't shy about it. And we called a fake, and we called a phony. And, it's hard to do in this. Like, I made a meme. I don't know if I can upload it. And I didn't put it on. Let me see if I can upload this. I didn't put it on. I don't think I can. I didn't put it on social media, but maybe I can share this with you guys. Hold on 1 second. It just out of humor. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I got it right here. Downloads, meme. Oh, I think I shared it with Faz. So let me find it, and I'll kind of. Where are you? There you are. So I found it, and this is something I shared with Faz, but I didn't actually post. I just kind of did it for therapy. So I'll remove this. When I make comments on somebody and it offends someone like Athlean X or Ryan Humiston, I had 2 people go off on me like, focus on your own content. Well, educating, I have to deal with dozens of questions a week about the bullshit put out by all these other content creators. We all have to deal with it. Serious coaches have to deal with this on an ongoing basis, because quite frankly, it's confusing people and it's wasting their fucking time. And these people should be called out because they're leeches and they're low lives and they're after clicks and they're after money. There's nothing wrong with making money, but when you are a large channel, you can make it legitimately or you can put out bullshit that confuses people. I don't care how you make money. But if you're putting out stuff that confuses people, like a video that he put out called Stop Counting Reps, I'm Begging You. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So one of the issues is like you put out one, like your mind is blown. So you put out commentary to try to help people and prevent them from doing stupid shit, right? Excuse my profanity. And you always get a couple guys who are like, focus on your own content, right? So I put together a meme. I shared it with Faz. I didn't share it on social media. When you make 100,000 forum posts, and I did legitimately at Muscle and Brawn, Muscle and Strength, Tiger Fitness, I'll pump you up. 1,000 articles, 2,000 videos, and answer every question for free. And then focus on your own content. I do. I really, really do. So it does drive you nuts, and you walk a fine line where if you bring it to light or criticize it, you know, people are like you're attacking somebody. I'm, you know, whatever. Get over it. These people are wasting your time. They're wasting. Let's do partials for hypertrophy. Shut up, man. This isn't science. It's one random study. When you lay it side by side with the history of muscle building, it's meaningless. Stop fucking confusing people. Stop counting reps. Like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Legitimately. You want to know my honest opinion? I'm sorry for ranting, and I try not to do this too often, but yeah, it is frustrating because serious, you know, people that are trying to really help you reach your goals have to deal with the mess that these guys create over and over, the confusion. So you have to stay in your lane in coaching. Okay. You have to stay in your lane. I'm not a mobility coach. I don't answer questions on mobility. If somebody asks me a question about stretching, I don't know. I'm not a stretching coach. Right. If somebody's not a strength coach, they shouldn't and they don't understand basic exercise form, they should not be calling themselves a strength coach or giving strength coach advice. They should have the balls and the integrity to say, I am not a strength coach. Maybe I got hired as a strength coach. Maybe that's why I have to play a strength coach on TV. I don't know. Enough about that. Victor, progression for blocks, 2 or 3 minutes. Aim for a good rep total. A 1 or 2 or 3 minute block is kind of a rest pause block. So it's a training tool where, let's say in pull-ups, you're struggling to go from 6 to 7 reps. What you could do is a block of time, 60, 90, 120 seconds, whatever it happens to be. So in a block, you can do maybe 5 pull-ups, rest, do 2, rest, do 1, whatever. And then say in a 2-minute block, you manage to get 12 pull-ups. It's easier to progress in an exercise like that in a block where you could try to get 13 next time. That's a reasonable goal. You might get 14 next time. So it's easier to progress in blocks in some cases. So Victor is asking, you know, how you should approach progression. I think in a block, after you've run it 4 to 6 times and you are, you know, let's say you get 20 reps in a 2-minute block and you feel pretty comfortable, you could try to add 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds. So it's very, very intuitive. But for a block, if you're only doing a block for an exercise, I would view a conventional rep total for 3 sets. Here's what I mean. let's say you are doing 3 sets of dumbbell bench. What would be a total of reps for all 3 sets? Maybe you're doing 8s. Maybe you're doing 10s, somewhere around 25 to 30 for 3 sets if you add up the reps. So on a block, let's approach it as maybe being the same or semi-equal to 3 sets of an exercise, and maybe go anywhere from 22 to 30 reps. How's that sound? Raphael, what is your best 3-day-a-week split? With the possibility of a 4th day occasionally. The best 3-day-a-week split is going to be the upper posterior, where you have 4 workouts and you rotate between them whenever you lift. So you have upper A, posterior A, upper B, posterior B, and you can use intuitive, or you can use flexible schedule, rest when you need to, want to. That's probably the best way to approach a 3-day split. With the possibility of a 4th day. I would say, push-pull legs is a good, but that's not really best for a 3-day split. You could also do, but this isn't the best. This is for a hard 3-day split, upper with shoulders, chest, back, and then a torso day in the middle where you're doing legs and arms, and then another upper day where you're doing chest, shoulders, and back. That's more of a pure 3-day split, though. Woodulus. Greetings from Bonnie, Scotland. Greetings. With all this inflation, what's your favorite rice and eggs recipe? I like to flavor my rice and eggs with a heaping helping of poverty, right? Seasoned with poverty. Honestly, I like rice and eggs with either Frank's Red Hot or light soy sauce and salt. That's it. I like them very, very simple. And it's one of my favorite things to eat. You can add in jalapenos, diced onions, if you really want to inflate the old food volume. But I know Woodulus has a really fast metabolism. So, food volume is probably not something you need to push. you need to probably make a rice and eggs pizza crust, Woodulus. And I don't even know if that's a thing. I know you can make an egg pizza crust. I've made that before with like cheese and I think Parmesan cheese and eggs. So you can make an eggs pizza crust. That's like a poverty pizza crust. Though I imagine flour is super cheap if you want to give yourself diabetes. And then just put the fattiest meats on planet Earth on there to get your calories in. Right. MGD254. Good morning. If I take 5 grams of a day of creatine and don't take it for 2 days, no, it doesn't work like that. You're better off going back to 5. Your creatine is something you need to take every day. And I'm not scolding you, but if you get off track, just get back on track. There's no need. Loading doesn't really provide benefits. Probably if you take a day or 2 off, it's probably not going to be critical. Just get back on the wagon and continue to use it as normal. Aberrant. Are some people just not built to lift? Who will never see significant gains? A lot of people believe they're not built to lift. I think here's an honest opinion. I think more people aren't built for the mental aspect of hard training than the physical. So I believe there's a lot more people who aren't mentally suited, who don't have the passion, who don't have the drive built in, than there are people that are physically not suited for significant gains. The body will respond to stresses. And in my 38 years of lifting and coaching and being in this industry, it's more of a mental game than it is a genetic game. Far more, light years ahead. The biggest truth in lifting, and listen to this point, is that the intangibles mean more than the program. The intangibles, like up here, pushing hard, wanting it, passion, drive. I have a client by the name of Lee who is relatively new to lifting, and this son of a gun is pushing sets to failure like he's like a Tom Platz, just insane. And I don't let everybody do this, but Lee I trust because he's very attentive. And I can't even begin to tell you how this guy just has the natural degree of intangibles. He wants it. And I am not trying to sound critical here, but there are a lot of people that want the end result, but the process, they don't have it within them to push as hard as they need to push, to get to where they want to go. I got a minor injury. I got to stop training. The weight feels heavy. I got to slow down or backtrack. Like, just stop screwing around. Go after it. I want to see some fire. I want to see some intensity. I want to see some passion. I want to see you go in and find a way rather than finding a way out of it. That's really the key. Not to injure yourself and do something stupid, but no. If you had $1 billion and you could train with me for a year and I controlled your food and I controlled your effort, you would see good progress. And over time, you'd see good progress. Everybody should be able to at least make substantial progress. There's no one that's going to be a zero gainer, right? Scotty Mack, how are you doing? Good, thanks. I'm officially making progress beyond where I was before illness. That's good to hear. Set a plethora of personal bests this week. That's all. That's what it's all about. Having a cold one. Yeah, I wish I could. I'm on the midst of a really hard cut right now. So, Scott, have one for me. Mike, Phillies or Astros? At this point, 2 days ago, I would have said Phils after that 5 home run game. But right now, Astros. I got to see who's pitching. So hold on. MLB, let's see the pitching matchup because I'm going someplace with this. And I think I know who's pitching, but I want to verify. Game 6 tomorrow. Have they announced the pitching matchups yet? MLB Game 6 pitching matchups. I don't see it on MLB.com. So I don't know. Probable starters. They don't have anything. But it's definitely going to be the Astros. I don't know. It would take a miracle. It would be a super amazing finish if the Phillies could just batter Houston's pitching in Houston. 1 minute. He got in 1 minute before 11. All right. That's it for questions before 11. Let me pick a winner. We got a couple guys here that really I'm going to give a t-shirt or hoodie to Timothy Lynn and Victor Tironi. Both of you guys are going to get a t-shirt or hoodie. Your call. And I'm sorry, guys, I can't give it to everybody. So you can send me a DM on Instagram at BenTheBarman. Email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, and I'll hook you guys up. And Victor, speaking of the winner, of the workout systems you created, if you had to pick one, which would be your favorite? The Power Muscle Block, Power Muscle Burn. The original Power Muscle, I'm going to pull this up real quick for you guys. If we go to Power Muscle Burn, and this was kind of based on what I did as what I did during my first several years of lifting. And let me find the screen here. So I wrote this. This was updated in 2021. I wrote this a long time ago. So if they updated it, they probably just added in some schmuck supplements or some crap that I didn't put, or they corrected an error or whatever. But this program, you can see it as 6.3 million reads. It's been wildly successful. It was probably put out in 2008, 2007. I don't recall. Yeah, they added in supplements and target gender and some workout. They add in, they changed nonsense. It's their website. I wrote it for them. So yeah. But 3.3 thousand comments and a billion reads and a billion success stories. So I have Power Muscle Block, which is the updated version over at superlivingtoday.com if you want to check it out. Raphael, let's all hit the like button. Thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate your guys' support. Brendan, 20 kg weighted pull-ups for 10 reps. Yeah, that's very, very good. Most guys will never get there, so thumbs up. Tamir, the beard. Yeah, I did the Movember thing. I hesitate to do things like that, and most people I wouldn't, but Faz is a good friend of mine, and I did it for him. And we're over it. Even my wife hates it. She's like, you look like a knob. Can't win, right? So it's coming back. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm getting like comments like, you look 12, 10, 15 years younger. Yeah, I do. But I look better with a beard, right? I don't know. I'm doing good for 55. I would say if you put my head next to Mark Ripito when he was 55, I think I have the advantage. That's just my personal opinion. Who cares, right? Brendan, I've got back on the lower back. I've got back on the lower back. Sorry. I've got back on the lower back when I press on the bone. When I'm squatting, it doesn't hurt, but the morning after it does. I'm trying to make sure I understand this. So I got back on the lower back when I press on the bone. My advice, suck it up. I don't care. I don't care about minor injuries. I don't care about minor strains, war wounds, whatever. You go to war, you're going to get minor issues. Does it prevent you from squatting the next time? If so, I absolutely have no fucks in the fuck bag. Not trying to be hard, but I don't care. I don't care about minor injuries. You're training hard. Things are strengthening, tendons and connective tissue in your lower back. So what we have to be is like, I do not fucking care. It's going to hurt. Something's going to hurt. Sometimes I wake up after a training day and something hurts. It's just part of training. It's just part of training. Does something, there's a difference between a minor tweak, twerk, strain, pain, and something that's, like, this is going to cause me to have to deload or take a day off next time. So understand the difference and play wisely. Tamir, please talk about rebuilding consistency. Tamir, I'm going to tell you, suck it the fuck up. You're being a fucking pussy. Just humor, folks, just humor. But seriously, I can't fix it if you don't want it. I can't fix it if you don't want it. It's the same as, how do I get my spouse or friend or buddy to lift? You can't. If you can't, I can't get you to be consistent, right? Either you want it or you don't. Just be real. Look, go over to the mirror and say, do I want it or do I don't? Don't lie to yourself. If you don't want it, maybe you want the body. I don't know. I don't know you, Tamir. So I'm just speaking in general terms, right? Just speaking in general terms, but you have to be real. Some people will step in the mirror and say, I want it, and then their actions don't back it. Your actions are all that matters. Your actions are all that matter. So if you're being inconsistent, look, grow the fuck up. If you are inconsistent with brushing your teeth, some things in life you have to do that are good for you. Resistance training is the best thing you can do. That's good for you. Suck it up. Maybe you don't want to be as big a natty potential. That's fine. Just go to the gym. Stop being a lazy bastard, Tamir. Josh, it's been a long time since I've deadlifted. Any advice? Slow. After COVID, I had COVID really bad for at least 3 months, and then I had breathing issues for a couple months after. I had to start back with 135, and then the next week 155, and then the next week 175. Your connective tissue is going to weaken a lot faster than your muscles, so you have to give it time, and don't be intimidated. Start slow, maybe 15-pound jumps each week, and get back into the groove. MG254, my wife won't let me shave my beard. That's probably a good wife, only because I look like a hamster. Yeah, like with a beard, I got this like a little small chin. So with a beard, it hides well, right? So David, Phil Heath actually follows me on Instagram. Can you imagine that? Talks time under tension, lightweight. No. Should we be focused? Phil Heath is on more drugs. Allegedly, then I don't know, whatever. Then a whole community of senior living residents. How's that? So allegedly, I'm not sharing my opinion. I'm just saying what other people think might be true. Phil Heath talks about time under tension, lightweight. No. It's not about strength. It's about progression, doing more than you did last time. There's no time under tension, lightweight builds muscle. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. It doesn't work. You can maintain muscle really easily that way. And that's what Phil Heath's doing. But no. Ask all reputable strength coaches about time under tension. Time under tension is a byproduct of proper lifting. Yes, you want to have good tension. You don't just want to look like a maniac on your lat pulls. You want to do the rep and then control. You want to be in control of the weight so it doesn't beat you up. And adding a little extra mechanical tension, stress to a set is a good thing. But time under tension isn't the primary driver. Time under tension, if you just use the same weight and just do time under tension, it doesn't drive hypertrophy. So no. There's no hypertrophy without progression. Stop focusing on strength increases. Start focusing on doing more than you did last time. Dell, Johnny Coxwell. And for those of you not paying attention at home, Johnny's name is an intentional attempt to get me to say Johnny Coxwell. Hey, he did it, not me. When I do roast, I feel a little pop in my ribs. That's not normal. I was told to work through it, but the more reps I do, the more painful it gets. What do I do? See a doctor. That's not normal. I'm not trying to be dismissive, but that's something for a doc. If you're working and you're hearing popping, that's connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, something going on. You need to see a medical specialist. Andreas, bloody heck. The compressed lower day session really paid in spades. I'm glad you said heck because I came into this live, pretty mild. I'm not going to swear today. I'm not going to rant. And then before you know it, I did a rant about Athlean X and I'm swearing. So I apologize. Johnny Miles, tips on getting brutally strong on weighted dips and chin-ups. If you want to get brutally strong, do so in rep ranges. It's easier to progress in rep ranges. This isn't a popular opinion, but, trying to move up in weight on like pull-ups or chin-ups and pull-ups and dips are really a huge form of ego lifting with adding resistance. People are trying to do really low rep sets. Don't try to build strength doing that. 8, 10, 12 rep ranges, multiple sets. Paul, how's it going, Paul? Trevor, why train abs only as needed? I see people talking about how they improve jumping balance. I don't really care about jumping balance. I'm not being dismissive, Trevor, but this channel is about building as much muscle and strength as possible. I don't know if ab work improves jumping balance. It might to a minimal degree. I don't see you needing more than a minimal degree of core stability and strength, like from rolling planks or ab wheel rollouts. Beyond that, I don't think it's going to increase jumping. And I don't know the nuances, so I'm not trying to make fun of this, but Does anybody really have problems with balance when jumping? I'm not being silly. I didn't know that was an issue. I played basketball. I never ran into anybody that has jumping balance issues. So I'm not sure what we're doing here, and I'm not being dismissive or smartass. I just kind of am lost a little bit. Dell, I'm stationed overseas, and it's currently midnight. Been following you for a while. I appreciate it, and you're the best. I sincerely appreciate it. I also want to thank you for your service. Thank you. Do you coach folks that are overseas? Absolutely, man. I have 3 or 4 active military members right now, and 50% of my clients are overseas. I have a client in Japan, multiple clients in Australia, clients in Singapore, client in China, clients in India, clients in Saudi Arabia. That's just currently. I have clients all over Europe. Ireland, Scotland, England, Norway, Sweden. I'm trying to think of I have a client in South Africa, everywhere. A client in Brazil, Canada, Mexicana, everywhere. So absolutely. Anime Randy from South Park voice. Don't, my God. I don't watch South Park. So I have nothing for you guys with doing that impression. How long did it take before you reached your first plateau? I've never hit a plateau. I've never hit a plateau. Nothing I ever consider a plateau. I've hit, wait. One plateau. Like a plateau is something where you don't see progression on a lift for a long time. So 405 by 5 on squats. I hit a plateau where I did not progress for probably 6 months, and it drove me crazy. And what I did at that time is I started doing more low rep work, and I think a lot of it was confidence, because once I started pushing the squat up, once I got it to once I was doing 600 for doubles or triples or whatever, when I dropped back down to 405, I was able to rep it out. So I didn't really reach that plateau till like 23, 24 years in. But you train that long, everything's going to stagnate. It's not really a plateau. You just kind of are at the end of the road, and you need to do something a little bit more different. So once you've built up, like 90, 95% of the real quality strength level, you might have to start messing around with low reps. And this is where the low reps for strength, high reps for hypertrophy stuff comes in, but this is more advanced stuff. Neo, how's it going? Neo from Minneapolis. Started listening in the middle of the incline run. Appreciate the midway encouragement. Thank you. Not almost there. I appreciate you tuning in. Neo, you have a baby face. The good thing about this is, you ever look at the face of I don't know, you do a lot of self-analyzation. And even though I look like a puffy bloat face, I'm like, for 55, I think I'm doing all right, right? When I have a beard, like the bags under my eye, or the little darkness under my eyes gets more prominent, but I think I'm doing all right for 55. As sexy as I'll get, right? JD Gray, test went through 01 Omega. Thoughts on using a weightlifting belt for deadlifts and bench? There's no downside to it. The thing is, with a deadlifting belt, when you are bracing without a belt, you're kind of bracing your core. Like, think about somebody's going to punch you in the stomach. You brace that way, right? When you deadlift. Using a belt, you have to push your stomach out against the belt. So it's just a different way of bracing. Does that make sense? Carlton, good morning, Coach. Carlton's a client of mine. Carlton is on, I don't know if you're on the road this weekend or not. I don't know if I don't think I hit your messaging from yesterday yet, but have a good weekend. Realish, congrats on 100,000 subs. Thanks. I don't know where I'm at right now. Let's just do a quick check, and I appreciate it. I'm at 99,164. So you're not almost there. You're not almost there. Thoughts on the study that 5 times free? No, it's not. Even Menno said it's not. Menno said it's not. Let me pull it up. It is not better. We know it's not better. Menno knows it's not better. It is definitely not better. Let me pull something up for you guys. Hold on. We're going to share the screen. I'm going to share in Menno's words. This is the shit that confuses people. Somebody asked early if, if it gets aggravating. This is the stuff that confuses people. So where's good old Menno? Menno, the 5-day-a-week guy. Buried in that post was Menno's comment, which I shared just for clarification. When equating total training tonnage between groups, tonnage is the same, meaning sets times reps times weight. Over the course of a week, there was no, these are Menno's words, no meaningful differences. No meaningful differences between the training frequencies as expected based on prior research. No meaningful differences between training frequencies as expected based on prior research. So I hope that helps. That's Menno's words, not mine. Menno's the 5 times a week frequency guy. Guys, not Brendan, but everybody, stop trying to seek magic ways. All this bullshit doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't, excuse me, but it doesn't matter. Stop wasting your time. I'm going to turn this into a sermon. Stop wasting your time on this stuff. It doesn't matter. There's no cutting edge new science, right? The training takes, if you see a solid physique, it's going to take 5 to 10 years of balls deep, intense, hard work. Frequency doesn't fucking matter in that context. It doesn't. It's one thing. It's like a minor variable in a sea of hundreds of variables. And even Menno says, as expected, it doesn't matter. The best thing you guys can do is pull all this complication out of your head and tell yourself it's the intangibles. It's the intangibles. It's the drive. It's the size of my fucking testicles. It's being smart and controlling the weight and trying to do more than last time and having a good exercise selection, and stop fucking messing around on your nutrition and stop fucking messing around on your sleep. Sorry, dog, I'm upsetting you. You want this stuff, then fucking get it. Do the right thing. But all these things, a new study says partial reps is, shut the fuck up. New studies, 5, shut the fuck up. It's, this shit is just going to waste your time more than anything. And if there's one message, if I had a heart attack and died right now, one message that I would want to linger on is, guys, in the history of lifting, the last 50, 60, 70 years, if we look at the body of work, all these lifters are training differently. We had an era where everybody was using a body part split. We had an era where everybody was using frequency. They look the fucking same, folks. They look the fucking same. What can we learn from this? Here's some real science. What we can learn is frequency doesn't fucking matter. Frequency doesn't fucking matter. No matter how much you want to believe it fucking matters, it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is right here. Your passion, the intangibles, your drive, a good quality exercise selection, consistency in nutrition, progressive overload, trying to do more than you did last time. These are the things that matter. These are the common threads that bridge the body part split era and the frequency era. So you guys are more than welcome to waste your fucking time on all this stuff. You're more than welcome. But do not for a second believe it replaces the important things. The people that fail, 99% of the people that fail or that failing right now, it has nothing to do with frequency. It's consistency in training. It is having a good exercise selection, pushing themselves mentally, having a progression approach, nailing their nutrition, nailing their sleep. That's why people fail. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you. Sorry, that was a pretty strong rant. I'm passionate about this stuff. Looking at the Arnold split you wrote for Muscle and Strength a few years back, you think the volume is doable for natties. Anything is for a short period of time. Higher volume programs, with a progression approach, obviously, are definitely doable. You might reach a state of overreaching where you feel a little bit beat up. That's okay. That's okay. This is probably a 3-month program. After a couple weeks of break-in, just go after it, for 3 months. If you feel beat up, just take a deload. If you're going to do a more aggressive program, though, I definitely recommend a more aggressive eating protocol. Been falling sick a few times the last few months. Sorry to hear it, and losing all progress. Have to drop the weight. What do I do? All you can do is focus on what you can control. It happened to me this year with COVID, and it's a harsh reality, and sometimes it stinks. But all you can do is focus on what you can control. Just know that when it comes to strength and muscle mass, once you've had it, muscle memory is a real thing. Mass is going to come back. Strength is a lot easier to get back. Not only do you have the confidence that you've been there, but your body has been there before physically, and you're going to get it back. So just be smart, be safe, let it come back to you naturally. Don't hurt yourself, and all good. Been sick for a week, couldn't work out. I'm glad it's only a week. If you go more than 10 days from a major lift, like a bench, squat, or deadlift, then drop the weight by about 10% next time you train. JD Gray, your opinion on the less is more approach? No, not at all. Again, this goes back to chasing fads and trends and aberrations and fringe. It's not. Less is not better. What's better is evolving training based on needs. So if you start with my 72 hard sets a week, which I mentioned earlier in the video, and you start that as a starting point, you can evolve that based on needs. But less is not better. If less was better, we'd have a history the last 50, 60, 70 years of every lifter doing less, because we're pretty smart as a group. And when you have 1 million lifters with results, and they're basically somewhere around here, and then one guy going over, less is better, it's not better. If it was better, then everybody would be doing it. Let's see. Suggestion for a 57-year-old non-bodybuilder. Don't focus on squats and deadlifts. Don't over-focus. You can do them in the periphery if you want or like them. Focus on dumbbells and machines, and listen to your body and adjust volume. If you're doing 3 sets on one exercise and you want to drop it to 2 and still work hard, that's fine. But don't just arbitrarily make changes to your programming. Make changes based on what's happening in the gym. Does that make sense? Amanda P. On the go post-workout snacks. Amanda, that's a good question. If you are on the go driving, I would have to say probably grapes and jerky, or the pure protein prepackaged protein drinks. Okay. Those are very, very handy. String cheese is a good go-to. It can sit in your glove box for a couple hours, get a little bit soft, and it's not going to go bad. In fact, it kind of tastes better a little bit when it's soft. I like turkey jerky. It's very soft. So grapes, turkey jerky. Grapes you can just kind of snack on when you need, and They taste good, and it's hard to overconsume them. Pure protein drinks. If you need a few extra calories, almonds, nanner, a banana, string cheese, things like that. Those are all things you can kind of bite and go, if that makes sense. Thoughts on intra workout? No need for intra workout unless you're working out long. I wouldn't spend money on intra workout. Like during a long run, like I would have some simple sugars 15 minutes before the long run, and then 45 minutes into the long run, and then an hour and 45 minutes into the long run, because you can go flat. So if you have a tendency to go flat at the end of your workout, maybe a little bit of simple sugars 15 minutes before you lift, and then 45 minutes in. But you have to understand that when you are lifting, your body is using the blood for muscle, for what you're doing in the gym. So you don't want to overdo food intra workout. It's really overthinking. Unless you have super long workouts, I wouldn't waste my money on any intra workout product. Pre-workout, I like to keep a pre-workout around. On days I need a little pick-me-up, I tend to have a half scoop. I don't like to overdo it because everything's so stim crazy, but I like the half scoop thing. So I like to save it for days I need it. And this is not bashing on people that take it every day. There's a little downside to it, right? So do it if it helps. Big JD Gray. As long as I do intense compound lifts, say every 5 days, and do light cardio on off days, some growth is anything as long as you're consistent, anything is possible. Big Vinny P, what's up? Glad I could catch some. Thanks, much love. Thank you, Vinny, and good to see you. Vinny's neck is 21. The thing is, Vinny, this is what people need to understand. Scientifically, when your neck is 17 inches and over, you have a high incidence of sleep apnea or disruptive sleep because of all the stuff pushing around in your neck area. This is science. This is real life. So anybody with a larger neck has to deal with some form of sleep disruption or sleep apnea. That's not a good thing, folks. Plus, when you're dealing with shirts and stuff, it can be a real pain in the neck, pun intended, right? T-Bone, what happened to the supplement expert? He hadn't been on a long time. He will tell you, I don't know what's going on with the dude. I really don't know. We had launched a supplement line. These are the facts. We had launched a supplement line, and Instagram's a vital part of the supplement line and answering questions. And sometimes I would tag him on Instagram with people's supplement questions. And then one day I realized his Instagram account was gone. So I was very confused. And that's all I know. But, I'm just sharing my side of things. You can't really help. Like, I need somebody to, he's a supplement expert. And people had a lot of questions about supplements. And if there's no social media presence and no one to answer them, I'm kind of on an island about things that I don't know about. So that's kind of the bottom line. Big Josh, why do people walk out RDLs? I do so when I do it, so I don't have to do another deadlift rep. So I don't have to do endless. I don't know. So I don't have to do another deadlift rep. I generally don't walk out RDLs, much, but that's generally why I do it when I don't want to have to do like when I'm going heavier and don't want to have to do another a deadlift rep before I do it. But it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. DC Fan 88. Are side delts trained the same way as the biceps with higher reps? there's nothing's trained with lightweights. Nothing's trained with lightweights. Everything is trained with progressive overload, which requires strength progression over time. You have to get your delts really, really, you have to attack progression. I'm not going to say strong, but you're not going to have big delts unless they're strong delts. And that's the bottom line. You need a reasonable amount of volume no matter what you're doing. Neo. Steve has always provided me with very good plans, always enjoying them, and teach me new things. Thank you, Neo. I appreciate it. Neo has been a client of mine for a long time, and I sincerely appreciate that. I really do. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate being able to coach for a living. It's living the dream. First time seeing you live. Welcome to the party. I appreciate it. Harut, does limiting range of mom, that almost sounded inappropriate. Does limiting range of motion, constant tension make sense in certain movements, like reverse flies, kickbacks? I would have to see what you're saying. Like, not really limiting. Reverse flies, you drive with the elbow back. So it's not about how far you can get your hand back. It's about driving the elbow back to a comfortable spot where you can feel the rear delts. On a kickback, you're kind of stapling the elbows to your side, and you can get a really good triceps feel. So not really limiting, using natural range of a natural plane of movement or range of movement, but I wouldn't restrict it beyond natural, if that makes sense. Matt, just want to say I'm pumped for 365 by 5. I think I could push it and set a PR. Just be careful, Matt. Just be careful going heavy on those deads. They can take more than they give. So just be super careful and don't do that too frequently. Injuries are the death of progress. Indeed, injuries are the death of progress, and that's why I just gave Matt a love tap on deadlifts. Just be careful. Things that it's okay. It's okay to do something occasionally that is a little bit challenging and insane. Just don't do it too frequently. Nicholas, how important is a muscle and strength study Is a muscle and strength study involving 6 people or rats translated all in the real world? What really translates, here's science, guys. Science is the meta-analysis or the analysis of all that we know. Studies and in the gym. That's science. One study doesn't mean anything. Like some random dickwad, dick scab, knucklehead, knuckle fucker, whatever you want. Excuse me, I'm just having a little fun here, right? Some random study that's talked about by some guy on YouTube, or may not have multiple millions of followers, or may have 2 followers. Doesn't matter. One study doesn't matter. We have to look at the big picture. It's like I talked about earlier in my rant. When you look at, we had a body part split era, and we had a full body era, and they both built muscle mass. Scientifically, what does that tell you? Okay, you draw your own conclusions. If you don't feel comfortable doing a body part split, then don't do a body part split, because either one's viable. Because muscle protein synthesis is one stinking variable, and it doesn't matter much at all. It doesn't really matter at all from what we know. I'm being polite over the course of the long run. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how you train. Be consistent. Get a lot stronger than you are now. Use the pillars of success, and forget that single study. It's useless. It's useless unless we have a body of evidence that supports it or backs it, right? Training 1 set a week, 1 set per exercise. The body of work doesn't support that. Soy sauce and banana. Everyone is built to pick up things and put them back down. Indeed. Everyone is not built to do it heavily. That's why we got to focus on good form. Big Bill Monte. Hello, big hairy ugly dude, massive crew. Horrible workout today that I had to cut short. Sorry to hear that, but just means I got to hone in. Yeah, it happens. It does. I had one of those this month where I went in to do chest and I'm like, I am drained. I did 4 sets and I got out. I just tried to hold my strength steady on bench, hold my strength steady on dumbbell bench, and I got out of the gym. MG254, I'd pay money to see you and a fitness YouTuber you despise to have a live debate. I don't know. Here's the thing, like the older you get, the less your bag of fucks, stores. I just have nothing left. I don't know. Would it be fun debating? I don't know. I just don't know. The last debate I didn't go over well, but that was from a low blow. So I don't know. It'd be good to see more debates. But you know what? Guys like this, like Humiston and Athlean X, and guys that I really don't like, not personally, I really don't like a lot of their content, not all, a lot of their content, I don't really think they're the debating type. David, so those new 100 workouts from Athlean X are just blocks as you've discussed it. Well, if you call something the best chest workout or the best chest, here's the thing, like you could view what all the 100 workouts that Athlean X puts out as a block of training, but number one, they're usually framed as best. And a lot of them contain fringe, silly, frilly exercises that aren't the best. It's not like if he put out 50 workouts that were of value, I put out 50 workouts that were of value, but they're basically the same thing in different ways. To show you guys, you can do the dumbbell bench and the barbell bench and the incline bench and the dips and push-ups and machine chest press and plate loaded chest press and pec deck and cable crossovers, but you can do them in all these different ways, right? All these different structures and protocol, rest balls, bulldozer, block sets, all this kind of stuff, right? Massive mass. You can progress this way. You can progress that way. You can progress this way. You can do a drop set here, a superset here, right? All my stuff is the basic core. It's like the sun. It's like a lot of energy, a lot of different things going on, but they're all basically the same thing at its heart, at its core. Guys like Athlean X, they have like all these weird little asteroids and set like this thing, arm thing for chest, and like that's not effective. It's not something you can progressively overload. It's not proven. It's not, if it's plugged in, where are all the other big hitters in this chest workout that we need to do? Hope that helps. Is touching the bar to chest necessarily when benching? No. It is not. It is not. Just know that when you press off your chest, it's going to be more chest involved. But really, the sweet spot for me, if you put your hand on your chest and bring your fist equal to your hand and then press and try to flex your chest, I really feel it most intensely from 2 to 3 inches up, personally. So just know there could be less chest involvement in the press when you do that. And also know that the more you pull your shoulders back on a press, down, back, the more stress you're going to place on your shoulders. So over time, it doesn't hurt. It might be better on the shoulders to leave it a little bit high. I do. I don't bench to my chest anymore, but I've been benching for 38 years and I'm trying to keep my shoulders healthy. So that's just kind of the way I do things. There's people used to make fun of me for that, and then you had Eric Spoto, who revealed something called the Spoto press, which is a bench where he doesn't touch his chest. So one man's humor is another man's staple, right? If I have low T and go on TRT, am I natural? Check the rule book, man. Check the rule book. Anytime you add testosterone to your system from outside, no one's going to consider you natural. Doesn't matter. No. I mean, if you got low T, man, take care of your health. Nicholas, no, you are not natty. Finally caught a stream. love the avatar, by the way. Hope everyone is doing great. Thanks. Fosmeister General. Sound like some Descendants level stuff. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Descendants, the band. The Fosmeister General. Any recommendations for training post hernia surgery? I had double hernia. Just slow and steady. I don't know the limitations of, how you're feeling, but just try to, focus on the lifts you can do, that don't bother you. And, anything that gives you grief, set it aside. Don't feel pressure to use a lift that annoys you or bothers you. Raphael, please pray for me. I'm visiting family in New Jersey this weekend. Yeah, good luck and hope things go well. What's a good substitute for back squat? If you experience hip pain, there could be some things going on that you might want to address. So I'm not saying this is 100%, the case, but you might sometimes with hip pain, your stance could be too wide, or sometimes your feet angles out here and your knees are in here. So, Kevin, I would have somebody look at your squat. If you have a recent video, I'd like to take a look at it. You could also send a video, take something new with moderate weight, and I'd be happy to take a look at it. But if you don't want to back squat, then there's tons of leg exercises you can do. You can do hack squats, leg presses, pendulum squats, Bulgarian split squats, lunges, old school sissy squats. You can do a ton of work. As long as you got a couple big hitters in the mix, you're good to go. David said in response to Nicholas, you're a natty, don't listen. Do you believe there's any superfoods? No. There are no superfoods. I believe anything that is plant-based or animal-based is rich of nutrients and is a superfood. One food will have more nutrients than another type of nutrients, but that doesn't make it a superfood. Eating a good variety of plant protein sources and plant-based foods each week, not an excessive variety, but a reasonable variety, that's your real superpower, your superpower generation. For muscle growth or getting vascular, no. If I start at 145, 1 rep max on bench, and after a year I can't bench 225 and only reach 205, have I come close to no, not at all. You got a long way to go. You got a long way to go. You made good progress. You came to 205. And all you got to do is keep that up and keep pushing over the next 2-3 years. Shaving your beard made you look a bit fat. Yeah. I'm about 10 pounds over fighting weight, so I've been fluctuating during COVID, 10 or 15 pounds over fighting weight. So we're getting it down. Millie Mold, sorry, messed me up. I had to read that 10 times slow. Thoughts, my apologies. Thoughts on importance of posterior chain training. How important are reverse hypers, glute hams, 45-degree back extensions? Well, if you have built up a pretty good squat and deadlift, and you are beyond the stage where you're experiencing any routine lower back aggravation, then if you really want to dabble into improving your deads, your powerlifting total, things like good mornings, hyperextensions, glute ham raises, supplementary lifts like that aren't a bad thing, but you don't want to overdo them, right? So I would probably start with a squat and deadlift and one complementary lift for each, like a good morning, maybe to complement the squat and deadlift, and maybe like a stiff leg deadlift to complement the deadlift, a stiff leg deadlift off the ground. So be really careful. Don't overdo it. Try some things, see how they make your body feel, if you find value in them, and kind of go from there. John, David, if you use TRT, you're not natty. That's correct. Not to try to, start a war, but if you put any substance in the fitness world, in the bro world, where natty or not, in the natty or not world, if you put anything in your body from the outside, hormones, then you're not natural. But we live in a world that's bigger than that. We live in a world that can be about health, believe it or not. So those of you guys that are taking legit TRT, this is what I would say. Who cares? This is discussions, meaningless discussions on the internet. So if you're taking it for legit health reasons, that's between you and your doctor. And it's like saying somebody takes insulin isn't natty. No one talks about the hypertrophic benefits of insulin, which is extremely anabolic. Maybe a diabetic's not natural either. I don't know. You guys decide. Shane, in the past, you have given general guidelines for 12 sets of quads and 6 sets of hams. Can you give some insight in your thoughts process? Why half for hams? A very good question. Number one, some of this is pragmatic. You can only do so many hard sets in a week. Okay. So, part of this is pragmatic. You have to kind of balance things. So with the hamstrings and the triceps and biceps, they're getting hit on other exercises. Your hamstrings are getting worked to a degree on your leg and your deadlifts. So 6 is a good starting point. It doesn't have to be the end point. Also, in the real world, a lot of people are not aesthetically obsessed with building monster hamstrings. So, we have to factor that in as well. Some of this is pragmatic. How many hard sets can you actually fit in a week? Some of this is aesthetic and do we really need more than 6 sets for good strength and reasonable aesthetics? And you can adjust it based on goals. I'm not trying to peg, anybody or keyhole them, like the key only goes in this hole. You can do a little bit more if you want. LV King. Also, there's just not a lot of good hamstring exercises. I want to start jogging in the mornings. First off, call it running. jogging triggers me. It's like people, you're out doing you'll go out and do a 50K trail marathon. They'll go like, how is the jog? Like jogging is something you do in the 70s in like really short shorts. So I'm just having fun here, right? I don't have a good shoe, and there's a million different out there. Number one, I would try not to run on pavement when you can. Run on a trail. See if there's a trail around you. It'll beat up your joints less. But I would go to a running store. There are running stores out there that are close to you, or there's got to be one close. If not, do some research online. But a running store generally have a treadmill, and you get to test the toe box and the feel of something, and they will kind of advise you this might be better for off trail running or trail running or pavement running. So if you can, that would be my best advice. If not, just look for a general running shoe online by Nike or whoever makes Adidas or whoever makes running shoes, and check reviews, for pavement running. That would be my best advice. Is there anything we can do that's smart for shoulder health? Having minimal control, like a reasonable degree of control on your bench helps. You don't want to tear up your shoulders. You don't want to do crazy arms flared benching. So that's a good starting point. Really, really just being wise about your benching more than anything else over the course of your life is really, really good for shoulder health. Beyond that, mobility work and all that kind of stuff, I got nothing for you because it's just not my specialty. Guys, I got about 5 questions left. Great live today. I appreciate everybody tuning in for the rants, raves, and F-bombs. And if you have any questions, get them in now. If not, I'll hop off after the next 5. Brenton Gatorade, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. What do you think of 531 in general? Well, I've been around so long that I know it's changed. I have some biases in the mix here that go deeper than the actual program. I talked on the phone with the guy that wrote the book, for Jim Wendler. So I have things I'm not going to share publicly. That just my opinion, I don't approve of the way, maybe the way things were handled. I don't have all the information now, but I talked to the guy that wrote the book and before he passed away. So I'll leave it at that, but I don't follow it. 531 there's different ways to do it. What I will say this, as a progression rotation, it's fine for the intermediate lifter. I think a lot of beginners and novices hopped on it and were doing too many low rep sets before their squats and deadlifts were good. So I'll kind of leave it at that. And back in the day when it was every 4th week deloading, I'm not sure what it is now. I really don't keep up, but I wasn't a fan of that. You just had a lot of beginners and novices deloading every 4th week and doing too many heavy sets on squats and deadlifts. Joy Pass. I've been benching straight up, but was told I should don't do that. Just push natural. Just be natural. Don't worry about that. Push to a natural plane. This is just way overthinking. Kevin, you think America should legalize steroids? Do you think it's because of, you got to follow the money. And if we get into a world where athletes can do whatever, I mean, I guess they could still test, for baseball. We get in a world where it's more Wild West. I don't know. Like Mark McGuire was totally demonized. So this is a subject that's far bigger than me, far more complicated than my opinion. I think in doctor's care done correctly, they are a good thing. There is a potential for abuse that can impact your health, and people that do steroids, not just TRT, tend to do other things. I think it would help with the costs and less people would go black market. But I don't know. It's a very, 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 very complex thing. I tend to be more like this. But again, it's super nuanced. If people can destroy themselves, with alcohol and with cigarettes, then making it easier and more accessible to get TRT, I I don't think it's a bad thing. Daniel White Jr., thank you for your great videos. Thank you. Can I still do progressive overload doing upper lower? Yeah, you can do progressive overload on anything. I always said, if I was in the middle of a remote island, all I had was a rubber band, a tin can, I'd find a way to make gains. So absolutely. Response to LV King, the best brand of running shoes I've had are Brooks. It's good. I'll just say it's going to be highly personal. Toe box fit. Like I don't like a loose toe box. So just test things out. I don't know anything about Brooks, so I'm not trying to say that's not true. Fast, thank you from England. Thank you for tuning in. Big David, how long do you think it will take to grow the stash? I grow pretty fast. So tune in next Friday, and I'm probably going to look more normal. I guarantee it. After your 6-week benching program, how much progression is decent to my 1 rep max? It really depends on where you're at, man. It's hard to give specifics because there's so many variables. How weak are your shoulders, your triceps? So I'm not trying to dance around the subject, but it's all about trying something different, experimenting, trying to stimulate things in a new way. And if you can get 5 pounds every six weeks, you're doing good. PSA, fall back this weekend. That's right. Fall back, turn the clock back. Any advice for regaining strength after a month off? Just go back in the gym, progress back up, and it'll come right back up. It'll come right back up. All right, guys, that's it for today. We hit 2 hours. I thank you so much. This has been a great ride today. Lots of great questions. I appreciate it more than you know. If you're tuning in after the fact and you didn't get your question in, head over to Instagram, @BenTheBarman, slide into my DM and ask your questions. I'll answer every question. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.
It's not almost over. It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.